Welcome back to the Deep Dive.
Good to be here.
Today, we're diving into a city with just an incredible story of change, Dortmund.
It really is something. The sources we looked at, they paint this really vivid picture of its journey.
Yeah, tracing it all the way from, a medieval trading town.
Right.
Then this massive industrial powerhouse phase. And now into something quite different again. Technology, culture.
And you absolutely cannot forget the football.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
So the mission for us today is really to get into the why and how. How does a city show such resilience?
Yeah.
How does it keep reinventing itself, not just once, but over and over?
That's the core question, isn't it? What's the secret sauce?
Exactly. Let's try and unpack that. So maybe we start right at the beginning. The sources mentioned Throttmanni back in 1882.
Yeah, that's the first official mention. But archaeology suggests people were there much earlier, Germanic tribes.
And the location seems key right from the start. Near rivers, crossroads.
Absolutely crucial. That strategic spot wasn't just luck, it really laid the groundwork. Even in those early centuries, it wasn't just a village, it served as a royal court, an administrative hub for the Carolingian kings.
Okay, so important early on.
Yeah, and while it was mostly farming back then, you already had crafts starting up, trade routes emerging. That location and early structure, it gave Dortmund a bit of a head start,
Which really paid off later in the medieval period. That's when things seemed to boom. Around 1220, it becomes a free imperial city. That sounds important.
Oh, it was huge, immensely significant. Being a free imperial city in medieval Germany meant self-governance.
Like they could make their own rules.
Exactly. Collect their own taxes, control their own trade. And Dortmund really ran with that opportunity. It became a key player in the Hanseatic League.
Ah, the Hanseatic League. We hear about them a lot in this era.
Right, this powerhouse network of trading towns across Northern Europe. Dortmund was right in the thick of it, trading things like beer, textiles, salt, grain, metals.
And the beer was a big deal, wasn't it?
Huge. Dortmunder beer became famous, exported all over the continent. That brewing tradition runs deep.
So you can picture it. A bustling medieval city, markets thriving, powerful guilds kind of running the show, and building these impressive churches like St. Reinald's, the Reinoldikirche. That Gothic architecture, a real symbol of wealth and status.
Definitely. And look, it wasn't all smooth sailing. They had feuds, plagues, political fights like everywhere else.
Sure.
But the wealth they generated through trade, especially the Hanseatic connection, allowed them to invest. Education, infrastructure. It built a strong foundation. By the late 1400s, it was genuinely one of Westphalia's most important cities. That strength helped it weather storms later on.
Okay, but then things take a bit of a downturn. The next few centuries, 16th to 18th, sound pretty rough, according to the sources. Decline, conflict.
Yeah, the early modern period was tough. The Protestant Reformation hit Dortmund hard. It embraced Lutheranism, which caused a lot of political and social tension.
And then the 30 Years' War.
Devastating. Absolutely devastating. From 1618 to 1648, the war just ravaged the region. Troops marching through, plundering, trade, completely disrupted.
The economy just tanked.
Pretty much. And on top of the war, you had famine, disease. The population dropped significantly. And even the peace treaty, the Peace of Westphalia, didn't bring much immediate help to Dortmund.
Sounds grim. And wasn't the Hanseatic League itself sort of fading by then?
Exactly. That wider context didn't help. Newer coastal cities like Amsterdam, Hamburg, they were rising.
Right.
And the older inland Hanseatic cities like Dortmund started losing ground. Trade shifted, the economy weakened, infrastructure kind of stagnated.
Yet, despite all that decline, it somehow held onto its status as a free imperial city until, 1803?
Which is remarkable, isn't it? It really makes you wonder how a city survives such a long slump, holds on to that core identity, and then finds a way to bounce back. What gave it that staying power?
Well, bounce back it certainly did. Because the 19th century brings this completely different, massive transformation. From stagnant town to booming industrial giant. This part of the story is really something.
It's incredible. And the key really was geology and geography again. Its location, smack bang in the middle of the Ruhrgebiet, the Ruhr region.
Which was packed with coal.
Exactly, the engine room of Germany's Industrial Revolution. And Dortmund was right there. So you see this incredibly rapid development Coal mining just explodes, steel production takes off.
And they needed ways to move all that stuff.
Precisely. So transportation infrastructure became critical. Getting connected to the railway network in 1847 was a game changer.
Opened up markets, brought in resources.
Totally. And then the Dortmund-Ems Canal, finished in 1899, that gave them a direct waterway to ship coal and steel out. These weren't accidents. They were strategic moves that reconnected Dortmund to the world, but in a new industrial way.
And industry followed. Big companies setting up shop.
Massive ones, huge ironworks, steel mills. And brewing, that old staple, it scaled up enormously. Millions of liters of beer being shipped out across Europe.
Wow.
And the people followed the jobs, the population just mushroomed, workers came from all over Germany, Eastern Europe. By the end of the 1800s, Dortmund was one of Germany's biggest industrial cities. A complete transformation.
And the city itself must have looked totally different. Factories everywhere, new housing popping up.
Absolutely. Huge housing estates for the workers, new civic buildings, schools, hospitals. The whole urban fabric had to change at lightning speed to support this massive industrial machine.
Then we hit the 20th century and, well, the world wars. How did they impact this industrial powerhouse?
World War I definitely put a strain on things. Industry was mobilized for the war effort, of course, but the city faced economic hardship, rationing, loss of life, like much of Germany.
But World War II is different, more direct.
Much more direct and far more devastating for Dortmund. Because of all that heavy industry, it was a major strategic target for Allied bombing. Between 1943 and 1945, the bombing campaigns were relentless. Some of the heaviest raids in Germany hit Dortmund.
How bad was the damage?
Catastrophic. The sources say nearly 70% of the city was destroyed. Much of the old medieval center just gone, thousands killed. It's hard to even imagine.
Just rubble. Rebuilding after that, under British occupation, must have seemed impossible.
An absolutely staggering task, but again, you see that resilience. The sources really emphasize the determination of the citizens.
And Marshall Plan aid helped too, presumably.
Oh, crucially, that provided vital resources, but it was the people's will to rebuild that drove it forward.
So they rebuilt. What did the new Dortmund look like?
Well, functional, mainly. New housing, public buildings, transport networks. They rebuilt quickly. But maybe inevitably, a lot of the old medieval character was lost. Modernist architecture took over, prioritizing getting the city back on its feet.
Did the industry come back too?
It did, remarkably fast. By the 1950s and 60s, Dortmund was humming again. Coal and steel were booming. It became a real economic engine for West Germany, back to being an industrial giant.
But even then, there were signs of looking beyond just coal and steel.
Yes, that's an important point. Even amidst that industrial resurgence, you see the seeds of diversification. The founding of the Technical University of Dortmund in 1968.
Oh.
That was a clear signal, a strategic investment in knowledge, in science and technology. An early nod to the idea that the future might lie beyond the mines and mills.
Which turned out to be pretty crucial, because then came the big crunch. Deindustrialization in the 70s and 80s.
Exactly. The coal mines started closing, steel went through crises, huge layoffs. It created real economic hardship and uncertainty.
A genuine crisis for the city's identity and future.
Absolutely. It forced Dortmund to fundamentally rethink what it was and where it was going. It couldn't just be the city of coal and steel anymore.
And the transformation since then, since the 90s really, has been quite something.
It really has. Impressive. After the last coal mine shut in 87, the city didn't just sit back. It actively, strategically invested. Universities, research parks, tech startups, the creative sector.
So a deliberate shift.
Very deliberate. From digging stuff out of the ground to generating ideas, realizing that intellectual capital was the new resource. You see it in things like the Technology Park Dortmund. It's now one of Germany's biggest hubs for IT, microelectronics, environmental tech. That took real vision.
And it wasn't just about the economy, was it? There was a cultural shift too. What they did with the old industrial sites is fascinating.
Isn't it? Taking places like Zechzollern, this beautiful old coal mine with Art Nouveau architecture.
Right, it's a museum now.
Yeah, a museum and event space. Or Phoenix West, another former industrial area now completely repurposed. And the Dortmunder U, that iconic former brewery building.
The big U on the skyline.
That's the one. Now it's this vibrant cultural center. Art, exhibitions, that rooftop terrace. It's symbolic, turning industrial relics into cultural assets.
And making the city greener too. Westfalenpark sounds huge.
It is huge. One of Germany's largest city parks. Botanical gardens, the Florian Term TV tower with its views.
Oh, the revolving restaurant.
That too. It all reflects this wider push for quality of life, for sustainability. It's part of the new identity. Modern, innovative, but also green and livable.
But okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room, or rather, the yellow wall in the stadium. Football. BVB.
Ah, yes, Borussia Dortmund. You can't talk about modern Dortmund without talking about BVB.
It seems woven into the city's soul.
Completely. It's more than a club. Signal Iduna Park, the Westfalen Stadium, Germany's biggest stadium, that famous South Stand, the Gelbe Wand. It's legendary.
Like a unifying force.
Absolutely. It's a massive part of the city's identity, a source of immense pride. It's a way of life for many people there.
So beyond the football passion, what's daily life like in Dortmund today? Is it a good place to live and work?
It seems to strike a good balance. You've got the urban buzz, but also lots of green space. And crucially, it's generally more affordable than places like Munich or Hamburg.
And work-wise. The shift away from industry paid off.
Yeah, the economy is much more diverse now. Technology, logistics, services, finance, research. Big companies like Deutsche Telekom, RWE are there, so more opportunities in fields like IT, engineering services. It's a more resilient job market.
What about for students? You mentioned the university earlier.
It's known as a good student city. TU Dortmund has a strong reputation, especially in engineering, computer sciences. And there's the Fachhochschule for applied sciences.
Right.
Plus, relatively affordable living costs compared to other big German university towns, and increasingly more courses offered in English, which attracts international students. It's part of that knowledge economy strategy.
And housing? Still affordable.
Relatively speaking, yes. Sources suggest rental costs are lower than in many other major German cities, maybe 600 to 800 euros for a one-bedroom in the center, less outside. Still manageable for many.
And for fun. Shopping, going out.
Westenhellweg is the main shopping street, pretty busy. But then you have neighborhoods like Kaiserviertel or Kreuzviertel with more sort of alternative independent shops and cafes, a bit more character.
And the food and drink scene. Obviously the beer.
The beer is a must. Try a proper Dortmunder export, and you've got to have a currywurst, classic Ruhrgebiet fast food, plus good Westphalian traditional food. Lots of great pubs too, like Brauhaus Schwenkers or Hovel's Hausbrei to get that local feel.
And it's well connected for exploring the area too.
Definitely. Being right in the Ruhr region makes it super easy to hop over to Bochum or Essen, even Düsseldorf isn't far. Or you can escape to nature, like the Phoenix Sea Lake right in the city, or head out to the Sauerland Hills nearby. It's a great base.
It really is an incredible story when you lay it all out. From that early trading post, the Hanseatic glory days,
Yeah.
big decline, then the colossal industrial boom, the devastation of the war, and this latest reinvention into a tech and culture hub. It's just constant change.
It really is. Dortmund is such a powerful example of resilience, isn't it? That ability to adapt, to pivot, to invest in a new future even after facing huge challenges. It offers lessons for so many other places trying to navigate economic shifts.
So thinking about that whole sweep of history, from medieval walls to today's technology park, what does Dortmund's knack for redefining itself actually tell us about what makes a city truly strong? Is it just about bouncing back, or is it something deeper, about knowing when and how to fundamentally change course?